This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Naimbagarbi, masanto siya sa labid si kayo amin, maya pa bengi keka, marahin na banggi sa Indogabos, maupay nga gabi ha iyong tanan, buenas noches, tisba al-kair, kay falhal, bismillahirrahmanirrahim, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh, mayong gabi sa Tibok, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, up to Sabah. Ako po si Eric Espina at ito ang inyong nag-iisang Republika. Hapag po sa ating kainan sa ngayon ng pinag-uusapan nating Presidential Proclamation 572. Maitutulad natin dyan sa parang deklarasyon ni Juan Luna, yung Artikulo 1, controversial po. Kaya para maghihimay-himay po sa usaping ito, ay naanyayahan po natin si Attorney Trixie Cruz Angeles. Siya po ay nasa Social Media Office ng Presidential Communications and Operations Office, Malacanang. Tama ba?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome, Attorney
Thank you
Trixie.
for having me.
Yes. Basically, just to start it off, Presidential Proclamation 572, a lot of controversies wrapped around this.
Yes.
What basically was the ethos and the legal underpinnings for its creation?
According to the story is that several officials questioned the amnesty of Senator Trillanes and inquired with the Department of National Defense.
Okay.
So, in particular, to Solicitor General Calida,
Okay.
who inquired with the Department of National Defense and asked for the documents of Senator Trillanes.
Okay.
And upon discovery that the application of Senator Trillanes for amnesty was not in the records. So, if you'll remember, Proclamation 75 under President Noynoy Aquino
Yes.
required three things: an application for amnesty, an admission of guilt,
Yes, admission of guilt.
and a retraction of previous inconsistent statements
Okay.
of the admission of guilt.
And in what areas did Senator Trillanes fail in the retraction?
Apparently, all of it.
All of it?
Yes, because even the application is missing.
Okay.
So, that being the fact of the
Yes,
matter,
yes.
with the certification from the Judge Advocate General's Service that no application has been made, because the JAGS was the administrative
Yes,
office.
yes, yes.
They received all the applications. In the absence of an application, the grant of amnesty to Senator Trillanes is deemed ineffective. In effect, that he had not applied at all, and therefore amnesty did not vest in him.
Okay.
No grant could have been possible without an application.
What were all these papers that he presented on television and he was showing it to the media?
Yes. There's a principle in law
Yes.
that the best evidence is the document itself.
Yes.
So,
This is the object of the
Yes.
evidence, no?
yes, in this case, a mere presentation by Senator Trillanes of his application form would have negated the entire the entire Proclamation 572. But that was not the case here. Instead, he showed a video documentary that was shown on a television network
Yes.
of the day that he applied.
Okay.
There's a video of the application that doesn't carry a signature and it
Okay.
doesn't carry any stamp that it was received. Then he has not produced any admission, which
Okay.
should have been made in writing.
How many documents are we
notarized.
talking? Are they supposed to be all attached?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so we're talking about almost 3 documents here?
At least.
At least
yes,
3
because
documents?
the application has several pages.
Okay.
So an attachment would have been the affidavit
Okay.
of admission
Uh-huh.
and an
There's no
affidavit
affidavit of admission? Okay.
and an affidavit of retraction,
Retraction?
which could also be contained in,
In
the
the affidavit, that's why, yes,
So, none of that either. There is no existent document to that. Senator Trillanes claims that in the application form, there is a general admission of guilt. But the Proclamation 75 is specific,
Okay.
that there must be a specific,
Individual?
yes, it must be individual.
Individual? Uh-huh.
So even Senator Trillanes has also presented a certificate of amnesty. Now there are also problems with that because if you compare a certificate of amnesty issued under President Fidel Ramos, the certification includes the crime which
Okay.
they admit to. In the case
Individually
of,
or
yes,
as a class?
individually, but it's just a
Individually?
crime. So, so-and-so, for example, was granted amnesty for acts of rebellion,
Okay.
etc. So, in Senator Trillanes' case, it only says acts committed during the Okud Mutiny, so, or the Manila Peninsula incident. So, there's no admission, not even of the crime committed. What should have been in the admission were the acts committed that constitute a particular crime.
Was the fault in the declaration of the amnesty, or was it the fault with Senator Trillanes in this case?
There are two theories.
Okay.
First, that the absence of the application and the admissions and the retraction indicate that Senator Trillanes was never really granted amnesty, and therefore the dismissal of the cases against him were done with fraud or mistake.
Okay.
So, or
whose fraud and whose mistake would this be now?
that's the question.
That's why I'm asking a question.
The point is that he cannot benefit from this fraud or mistake. So let's say it's in good faith that it was a mistake on the part of the Judge Advocate General's Service
yes.
and consequently the Secretary of National Defense, Walter
yes,
Gasmin.
yes.
Then what the Department of Justice is doing now is correcting that.
Okay.
So by doing so, they have applied for arrest warrants for Senator Trillanes.
What was the intent of the Aquino Proclamation? I mean, the spirit of the
Well,
proclamation.
all amnesties, the spirit of any amnesty is
Yes.
national reconciliation.
Yes, yes.
So it was the same case, was to bring everybody back into the fold.
Okay.
So and they were a part
That would
of,
not cure. That would not cure
Yes.
the mistakes or the frailties of the.
Well, an amnesty normally would eradicate a crime.
Yes.
And no more crime,
yeah,
no
I know.
penalty.
From the beginning,
So,
it's like a zero.
Yes, it's supposed to be. But this was a conditional amnesty. And the conditions were application, admission, and retraction.
Wait, let me ask you.
Yes.
With pardon, I can understand conditional pardon.
Yes.
But in case of amnesty, you mean to say certain parameters have to be fulfilled.
Yes.
And
It's there though. Most
Okay.
amnesties don't carry with it condition, but it's legal to have a condition.
okay,
So the Supreme Court has already ruled on that. So in this case, there are three conditions:
okay.
the filing of the application,
Yes.
the admission, and the retraction.
Yes. And there are no documents to
None.
this.
None.
No affidavit, no nothing.
There's a certification from the JAGs that they don't have that document.
Okay. Now, just to clarify, because again, you are correct. There was a video being shot.
Yes.
It was shown, and then the other is, what was this document that he was showing to the public?
The
during his press-
application.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Were there any signatures involved?
Not even his,
Okay. And did
which
the
is
judge?
on the front page.
Okay. How about the signatures of DND Secretary Gasmin? Does that carry any weight?
There's no signature on the application, but there is one on his certificate of amnesty.
So how does that? How should one read that then?
The second theory,
Which is-
the second
which is-
theory
okay.
of the Department of Justice is that the grant of amnesty was made by the Secretary of National Defense,
Okay.
and this is not a power that can be delegated by the President.
It
to
is
his
not
alter
agency in
egos.
short. That's
Yeah,
what you're
no,
saying.
it's not. This is the
It should be the
DOJ
President of the
stand,
Philippines
yes.
that should be the one signing for it.
Yes.
Okay. So the
Granting
fault,
it.
Granting it. So the fault is with President Aquino?
Yes. And of course, with
Okay.
Secretary Gasmin, it would be
Okay.
an ultra vires act.
Okay.
Secretary Gasmin, in fact, has a letter, the letter referring the applications to the President, the names, the list of
Yes.
names to the President, where he includes there a statement that these were the ones who applied,
Okay.
we have evaluated them, and I have granted them amnesty.
Okay.
So it's very specific in the referral letter that it was Secretary Gasmin who was
Who
granting
granted.
the amnesty.
Okay. What was Jago doing? Sleeping on the...
No, Jags was the one who
Didn't Jago see this
support-
down? I mean, I'm saying that's why you have Jags, no?
Yeah.
So they didn't see this also. So like,
But consequently, neither did Malacanang
uh-huh.
or the Deputy Executive Secretary for Legal,
Okay, okay.
of whom all of this would pass.
Okay, now the next question. This is the worrisome part of it. This is the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
It will carry the entire class of about how many officers?
All of the people who applied for amnesty
and
under
close to
Prop.
about
75.
this goes to about almost 100 with the
About
enlisted
57, 58.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So are they also the
Well, I
subject
spoke to one of them.
Okay.
It's former BOC Commissioner Nicanor Faildon, because he
Yes.
was my client.
Okay.
So I asked him for his reaction on this one, and we were discussing, as a matter of fact, an interview he had earlier.
Yes.
So I said that, what was your reaction? And
Yes.
he said, they asked me earlier, and they said, what now? If
Yes,
the
yes.
amnesty is declared void, it affects you.
Yes.
And he said, yeah. And they said, so you might go back to jail. And he said, look, I've been to jail 6 times. Do you honestly think that I'm afraid of going to jail? The last time, I even went to city jail. So they can put me anywhere.
Okay.
If we can fix this, who minds going to jail?
Next question. Why isn't he fearful of a warrant of arrest?
Who is? Captain
Nicanor
Faildon?
Faildon, yes.
He's not afraid of going
So
to
he's
jail.
waiting for a warrant of arrest to be.
It might take a
presented?
while, because right now, Proclamation 572 only concerns Senator Trillanes and nobody else.
That's okay. How about General Danny Lim, MMDA chair?
No
Isn't he part of
statements,
the
yeah.
entire class that was given the
Yes,
the
yes, they
Aquino
were.
amnesty?
Yes.
And what worries me is, there are political ramifications here. How it would look vis-a-vis the president. You know what I'm referring to when it seems to
that
be.
it seems like it's class.
It's a class amnesty, and yet
Yeah.
there seems to be only one individual being.
Because he's the only one whose records cannot be found.
The rest can be found. This is
Yes.
what you're saying. Even
That's what
General
Judge
Daniel.
is saying. Yes.
So all the others, all the records of the others are in order.
Yes.
It's only Senator Trillanes, therefore that is a problem.
That's what they're saying.
That's what Jago is saying.
That's what we understand they're saying. Yes, of course.
Please clarify that. Okay, but you have a certification from Jago that
Yes,
all the
Jago
others,
issued the certification.
all the others are fine,
Yeah,
except for Senator Trillanes.
and hence a proclamation carrying only his name.
Okay, why can't Senator Trillanes produce all these documents that you're referring to?
I cannot answer that. He hasn't. That's all we know.
And he hasn't shown it on media either.
No. My guess is that if he had it, he would have shown it.
He would have
already.
shown it a long
Yes.
time ago.
Yes.
Okay, so therefore he was just presuming that everything was already fine.
Yes. There is an issue. I don't know if you remember this.
Okay.
When they were applying for amnesty, when the amnesty was declared
Yes.
by President Aquino, there were some serious misgivings on the part of some of the people who were involved in this. As
Yes.
a matter of fact, except for Captain Faildon and 2 other, one from the Marines and one from the Army of my
Okay.
clients,
Yes.
only 3 of my clients applied for amnesty.
Okay.
And the rest, we had them acquitted.
Okay.
So, yeah, well,
Okay.
one of the misgivings was that there was a condition also that once you apply for amnesty, if you're still in the service, you're going to be out.
Okay.
So, as a matter of
Is
fact,
that
yeah.
honorable discharge or dishonorable
They
discharge?
said it was going to be honorable.
Okay,
And to be fair, they were honorably discharged.
Okay.
And the proclamation itself also says that they would be entitled to all
all the
retirement
benefits, yes. Oh, that's
but
very good.
Captain Faildon never got his.
How come?
That was the subject of my complaints with the chief of staff, with every chief of staff since then.
Okay.
They said that
He was
because-
honorably discharged
yes,
also. Okay. And
But
then,
they said
but his
because he
benefits have
escaped.
not been given either.
Yes. They said that he was dropped from the rolls because he escaped. But the amnesty is supposed to cover all of the instances
Yes,
that
yes.
were pertaining to the Okud Mutiny. And the escapes, 2 of them,
Okay.
were
Well,
pertinent to that.
I'll hold you on to that exciting part.
Yeah.
Republika will return after a few reminders.